So a little bit about Tech-Led. We have been founded in the year 2000. We are a Sydney-based firm with a branch office based on the Gold Coast. And our typical focus is catering for the needs of designers, architect, lighting designers, and we focus largely on both the commercial, retail, and domestic markets. Lighting designers, building designers, architects, people like yourselves give us our inspiration, our direction, and from that we then create exciting and meaningful products which keep up with trends. And I'll show you briefly two of our most exciting ones we consider. Okay. So here's just a bit of an overview. We're going to focus. The item on the left is our illuminated timber handrail, and there's a host of variations. And on the right is a illuminated linear timber pendant. And again, there's a whole host of variations. Both of these are on a fairly dark timber, but we'll focus and show you some other more exciting finishes available. So here we have an example of a very exciting, in fact, one of our first projects, fully blown timber handrail. And as you can see, the overall effect is quite dramatic. It creates a lovely glow. It illuminates the stairs with adequate amount of light and just casts a very nice general feeling in stairwells. This is actually indicates exactly the kind of complexities we often face in a staircase, in that it's got a typical 35-degree join near the bottom over there. We then have a 90-degree corner over in the corner, another little 35-degree kick up, and off you go. This is one of our earlier models, just purely satin stainless steel. We now offer a whole range of exotic finishes, which we'll show you, and we'll try and get to any of those that are interested, a lovely color brochure indicating far more information. That's just a close-up of how we achieve our results. We basically groove the 43mm round dowel, which is compliant with the building code. And in the dowel, we put a diffused linear light source. The light source appears continuous. We offer that in a range of colors. And in fact, we can even offer things like dimming and links to home automation and a whole host of other exciting things. There's a little bit of a step back view. The wiring is completely hidden, so all the handrail brackets appear identical. And as you can see, the light runs right up to the little saddle and then continues through the saddle. We've got some technical methods which I can't disclose how we achieve that, but the screws actually don't penetrate the LEDs. We kind of wind our way around them. And we have a nice little cover bracket over these screw holes in the wall. So everything looks nice and elegant. Obviously, you can't see the two screws underneath. Typically, unless you're extremely short under the 855mm code for mounting this above the floor. And this is kind of a snapshot of our various offers. The Vic Ash is by far the most popular. Us in New South Wales call that Tassie Oak. Spotted Gum and Black Bud are kind of next off the list. And American Oak is a very much more interesting grain, and that also is fairly popular. The Vic Ash, because of its free availability, is our go-to product. It's kind of on the shelf, as it were, and the others take a bit longer and cost a bit more money. In addition to this, we also offer some very nice timber stains. Black Japan is particularly popular, as is walnut stain. So we kind of offer about 6 timber species with 2 stains on top of that. And so it covers it blends in with most of the interiors. And now, because the architectural and design community is so fussy, our initial offering of the satin stainless steel was not good enough. And we then kind of offered them a black powder coated bracket. But that in itself was not enough. So now we offer brass, copper, aged brass, as you can see in this illustration here. We offer a fair amount of different options. And these options, of course, come at a small price. But again, the design community and in fact, the end user is very happy to have all these exotic finishes. They do look rather fabulous. Before I get on to the next little product range, which is our linear pendants, I'll just quickly go back to the initial image over there. So the image on the left is a black Japan stain with brass handrail brackets and in fact brass end cap. Again, we've further refined the range. You don't have to have a metal end cap. We now do a little offcut of matching timber, and that gets stuck onto the main run without any illumination at the very end. We need an end cap because the routing would look ugly if you see it from the end, so we just cap it off nice and neatly. So that's an example of a black Japan handrail with brass brackets, but as you saw from the various examples, could be a host of different options. So moving right on, after the, I'm talking on two matters. One is the illuminated timber handrail, and B is the illuminated timber pendants. And they kind of are bred from a similar basis of a 43mm round dowel, but the timber pendants have morphed into a whole vast range of products, and we'll try and get you the brochure electronically. If any of you are interested, we've got, I think, 5 models these days of the linear pendants. This is our basic, what we call the Tassie round. It's a 43mm dowel. It's got some very unique qualities. The first aspect of the product is that, as you can see, it's got just 2, well, you can't see the second dropper, it only has 2 droppers. These droppers are fairly unique in that they carry power and serve as a suspension kit. So no, you're not obliged to have 3 ugly wires hanging out of the product. The other fairly nice thing is the LEDs are completely dotless, and we have varying degrees of light output, and in fact, they're available in dimming or, let's say, hooked up to your home automation system. The further refinement, which again has come about in recent times, is that we can now offer this as an up and down pendant. It looks very elegant, having up lighting and down lighting, and in fact, we can use each dropper as a different control, whereby you don't have to have them both on simultaneously. You can have either the down on or the up on. Sorry about this. And the up light is actually very attractive in that you just want a subtle glow in the evenings. You don't necessarily want your bench top lit. So we can offer that also. And possibly the last product variant is there's a fully customizable length. We don't like going beyond 2100mm because timber tends to get a little bit out of shape. So 21 from about 600mm to 2100, no problem. And the whole gamut of timber species, if you so wish, or black Japan or walnut stag. So that in a nutshell is the Tassie round. This is just a more rectangular timber one. We also do, this is a far more functional pendant. And we have another model in our range. I believe we call it the, well, I think it's the Franklin or one of the other exotic Tasmanian names. And this basically is a slightly larger pendant in format. It has a, it's basically 40mm by 40mm square. It has 2 rows of LED lighting. As you can see, it's infinitely brighter because we are offering about 28 watts per meter, which gives a very substantial light on the surface and a very safe and comfortable light to work with. Again, it can be dimmed. So that's that. Oh, there we go. There's the, and I believe so, it's called the Hobart. It's just come to me now. So there's an example of a Hobart. As you can see, on the one on the left has 3 droppers, but no cable, no just dedicated power cables. One of those droppers is live, the other 2 can simply be to suspend the thing. On the right is a live shot of a fairly early model we did. We were not that sophisticated in those days, and we actually had a 3rd cable there, which dragged the power up. But this is a really functional workhorse. It's got a nice rigid looking shape, and it's got as much power as the client needs. Typically, we run that at 2 by 14.4 watts, which gives quite a bit of oomph to the product. And this is another very, very exotic. It's our newest Tassie. It's a flat version with rounded edges. So in the first slide, we showed you what we call the Tassie round, which is this fellow here. We also do a very nice Tassie flat. And the last, let's say, baby in the range of the newest model is this very exotic looking Franklin. It's got rounded edges, has a really lovely effect. And you're actually seeing an example of the walnut stand there. So that in a nutshell, in the absence of effectively sharing the brochure, which we'll have to do after the event, this is, wraps up the brief chat. I'm more than happy. I can see there's quite a few things in the Q&A session.
Yes, Jeffrey, there are. We've also put up the brochure there in the chat if people wanted to look. They can download the PDF there that we've put up. So there's a couple of questions. What is the thickness of the handrail?
The handrail comes in 43 millimeter diameter. And although it's top secret, we also have just launched a flat handrail, which may be for another day. So the round one is actually quite a...
Jeffrey, you've just announced that to the world. We're going around the world now. So something that's top secret is no longer top secret.
But we hope the world gets to hear about it. So again, that on request, I can send out that new version 3 of the handrail. But so it's 43 millimeter diameter, and that's the answer to that one.
And what lengths do the handrails come in? Is there set lengths, or is there a maximum
really.
length?
Each piece is custom made. We can in most cases get up to 4.2 with one single run, but there's a little joiner which means we can join 2 together.
Perfect.
But most single runs, we find 4 meters is kind of covers it. Then you've got the little corners and everything like that.
So when you do join it, what is the gap between the lights? Are you going to get a shadow? That's another question on the joints. Are you going to get a shadow
margin on the wall? It is about a 40, 50 mil joiner, but it's more of a feature than anything else. And we find most straight runs are no more than 4 meters.
Perfect. Okay. Just trying to look through some more. So I've got another person, because obviously with timber shortages and so forth, what's the lead time roughly on these products?
Handrails, both of them 4 weeks maximum, fairly average.
Okay.
The only caveat there is if somebody wants an exotic like black Japan or walnut, it can take us a week to send it to the French polisher and bring it back.
Perfect. So Shane has sent in a question. The power dropper, is it the same thickness at both ends?
Yes, they're both about 2 millimeters. Yeah.
Perfect.
And that relates to the pendant, obviously not the handrail. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's really, really, really important, because that cable hanging down doesn't look the best. So
another top secret release, which
oh my God, you're giving all these top secrets.
We shouldn't really tell the people, but they're close friends of ours, the BD, the Building Designers Association. We have just launched an all black cable, which is also power running through, which looks absolutely brilliant.
Awesome. So Rodney's asked, how long does the LED last, and can they easily be replaced if an LED was to, I guess, stop working?
Well, yes, typically. So Rodney, we have many LED linear pendants in the market for 7 or 8 years. Theoretically, they should last about 10 years, and they can be replaced. The tricky part, perhaps, is that the Tassie pendants and the handrail have a very minuscule LED strip. Again, a trade secret. It's only 4 millimeters wide, so it's not freely available in the marketplace. But on the rare occasion that one would fail, we've been around for 20 years. I might not be around for another 20, but the company will be. And we can just post off a replacement strip with a really soldered on tails, easy to get.
And people are asking roughly what are price points as indicators that they can pass on, so they've got an understanding of.
Highly
is it a linear meter rate, or
because it's anonymous.
You're going to tell us another secret.
No, okay. So basically, the linear handrail. So all prices I'll give you now basically are in Vic Ash natural with satin chrome brackets. The linear handrail system is about $330 per meter all up, meaning that it's the handrail, the timber, the leads, the driver, the whole deal. The pendants range from about $600 to $1,200, depending on which model, which length, etc.
Okay, another question. Is there any special requirements for the electricians?
They have to know how to connect a transformer to an LED. No, there's no requirements at all. It's extremely simple, and both of our products discussed today can be dimmable. We can offer a dimmable driver, but the electrician can handle dimming easily.
Perfect. Jeffrey, if anybody else has some questions, we're going to stay online. Thanks again, and I'll know where to come when I've got to tell you a secret.
Please do. Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you for allowing me onto the presentation. It was very enjoyable. Okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Cheers.